All right, back for more of the Phoenix winter exclusive parallel boxes. Lucky enough to catch a Target restock today. If you watched the first two videos we had ripping these, you saw the great success we've had. So I've been on the hunt for these. They're still pretty hard to find, and they're reselling for a lot more online. Got these for $29.99 at Target, so highly recommend. Actually sold a couple of the top cards we pulled in our first two videos. The Schweschinger first on print color match, and then have a Plaxico Burris Auto winter exclusive that we pulled also. Also found a solo fat pack, so of course we had to buy it. Let's start the video with this. See if we can pull our first downtown in person, that is. I've pulled one off a break before, but I've never pulled one in person. It is my goal to pull it downtown, as I'm sure it is many people's. Don't really recommend these fat packs, but when you see them in person, you kind of have to. Doesn't look like today is our day, but let's see if we get some. See if we get some good cards. Ginkle, Cruz, Jackson, Jamal Charles, Kittle, Adonai, Dorsett, Ladd, Khalil, Purdy. We got Deion Sanders on the blue. That's cool. Amazing old uniforms. Deontay Thornton, Jack Sawyer, Travion. Got Lamar on the blue. Ooh, DK on the blue, rated rookie. Color match, kind of. Torrey Holt, Bijan, Gibbs, A-Chain, Guaflin, Tutu, Godwin, and Trey McBride. I swear I pulled this same card. And then a cool color match Rome. Nice card. Yeah, always pull this card. I have about 5 of them so far this year. All right, but let's get into this. This one sounded kind of weird. Not sure what's going on in there. Obviously, as always, we're searching for color blasts. See what we can get here. I think the Phoenician is also a case hit. Love to see some contours, but what we're really just looking for here at the bare minimum is some good winter exclusive parallels. Oh, that was probably what was banging around there. 2 of these NFC tags. Cool, so we should have 6 packs. Let's get into it. Put that there. Another one. Like I said, these winter exclusive parallels have been selling really well for me. Basically paying for the box, so just keep coming back for more. Looks like our first is an all base, so we got Will Johnson, Drake May, Dan Fouts, and Tank Bigsby. There's always 1 or 2 of those per box. Not really a fan, but at least we got it out of the way first. Like I said, pulled. What is going on? Another all base. Stroud, CMC, Chase Brown. Maybe these rookies don't count as base. I'm not sure quite what's going on there. Hopefully there wasn't something messed up here. Let's see. Maybe that's a good sign. Can only go up from here, right? All right, first winter exclusive. We got Sirianni, Taysom Hill, Maxwell Hairston, Arian Smith. Not exactly who we want to see, just the base, but at least it is a rookie. Should hold some value. All right, we're halfway there. Be nice to see an auto or something low numbered. Looks like we got our first contours. So the last 2 packs should have the blaster exclusive. Everett, Henry, Luther Burden, and Devon A-Chain. Sweet card. I personally collect the contours, so that will go in the PC. Not as good of a design as last year, in my opinion. I loved last year's contours design. Got a few slabbed up here, but still cool. All right, we have a red. I believe this is numbered. So we have Mahomes, Kelsey, Tet. So far, a good pack. Mason Taylor on the red, and I believe this should be numbered. Yeah, out of 399, 255 out of 399. So 2 Jets, not what you want to see on the winter exclusive, but one more pack here, make up for it. Let's see if we can get another numbered. Does not looks like base. Maybe Colts. We got Lynch, Mark Andrews, Khalil Mullings, and Riley Leonard. Okay. So that's a solid card to pull. At least it's a rookie. He actually looked really good today. Week 18 games. Nice looking card. All right. So that might have been our first dud of a box of all these winters we've opened so far this year. Hopefully that just means this one is even more stacked. 6 packs, 4 cards each, and it seems like 2 of those are going to be base, at least based on our last. Yeah, same thing here. So we got a Hunter, at least a rookie. My boy Jordan Love, Jerome Ford, and Jared Goff on the base. So maybe those are just the top 2 packs. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Seems like it. Same thing here. Jaden Blue, Sean Jackson, Hutch, Hufunga. All right. So that means all the good stuff is here. Got those out of the way. All right, we have another red. Whoops. Almost gave it away there. So we have Vrabel, Hurts. So this is, what was this, out of 299, 399 last time? Goff. All right. Yeah, out of 399, 258. What was this last one? 255. So another red. Really cool looking card though. Again, not exactly who we want to see, especially after the Lions down year this year, but we've got a Paragon, I think that is. Calvin Austin, D'Angelo Hall, Will Howard rookie, and Daniels. Nice. Good, cool looking card. A stance. Just the base, but the base is a silver, kind of looking parallel. So cool card. All right, 2 down. See if we can stay hot with the Phoenix Winter Blasters. These are from Target. The last 2 were from Barnes & Noble that we got really lucky on. Swift, Stephon Diggs, and Hufunga. All right, well, that'll go in the PC. Just the base, but again, I love the Snowflake Winter Parallel. See if we can get a little last pack mojo here. Nothing great so far in this rip. Another red. Oops, put that behind. Ridley, Russ, and Packers. All right, Jordan Love, hopefully. Evan Williams, okay. Not who you want to see. 118 out of 399. But again, we'll probably go on the PC, so can't be too mad about it. So we certainly did not have as good a luck as we did last time. A little recap here. Williams, we had out of 399, we had a couple of those. Hufunga, the base winner. Jaden Daniels Paragon. Goff out of 399, winter. Riley Leonard, base winter. Mason Taylor out of 399, winter. Arian Smith, winter parallel. So yeah, that was it. Still a fun rip. I think I can get some value back out of these guys. Plus got some for the PC. So really think these are still worth the risk at only $30. Like I said, still in the positive from these blasters as a whole this year, which is kind of crazy. Pretty rare without like a case hit, but yeah, would recommend these cards still, even though not as good of a rip today. But thanks for watching. Be back.